Morning, guys.
Morning.
Everybody.
Morning.
Okay, but it doesn't look like we have any visiting Rotarians or guests or people. All right. Thank you, everyone. Okay, Rebecca, this is perfect. The next slide is for you. We continue to ask you to collect stuff. So we're still planning on having our rummage garage, whatever you want to call it, sale on the 13th and 14th, Saturday and Sunday. You still haven't updated the slide. But yeah, see what you can find, ask your neighbors. If you've got big items, let our committee know, myself or Claire. And yeah, yay. So if Joyce were here, she would ask you, while you're looking through your things, if you find teddy bears, stuffed animals, she is collecting those for any kids that come into her courtroom. It's nice to have a teddy bear for them. And that is that. And she would explain more about that. She will. She's gonna, she better, she's part of the program. Ian, would you like to make your?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So it's been a while that the District 5130 has been working on youth protection outside the context of youth exchange. We all know that for youth exchange, there's lots of vetting needed, and for good reason. But we do a lot of different things with youth in the capacity of being a Rotarian. We do our mentorship for business, and we do sometimes dictionaries. We got Interact, all the different sorts of things that we engage with youth for. So the district approached the youth exchange side of things and said, you got this great portal system to do the vetting through and track progress and status and do these online quizzes. Can you build us something that does it just for Rotary in general? And they said, okay, give us 3 years, and they got it done. So, so here we are. And part of this comes from, the primary reason is that we want to make sure that the people involved directly with youth are vetted so that we know who they are and have a little background check, a brief interview, and an online session called Youth Protection Awareness Training, so that everybody's starting from the same baseline of knowledge, knows the paths of reporting if there's an issue, and can be up to date on rules and regulations. And it also allows the district to afford the insurance that they buy and all our clubs subscribe to. So what that means for each of us as a Rotarian is if you have one-on-one direct involvement with a youth, a minor under 18, or if you have repeat interactions with youth, even in a group setting, if you're going to go to an Interact meeting weekly and be a host there, then we will provide you with vetting appropriate for that. That'll include the YPA online quiz. If you've never seen it before, it'll probably take you about 30 minutes. If you've been through it before, maybe 10 or 15. A brief interview with me. I've been assigned by Wolf Reinholtz, our district youth protection officer, as our club youth protection officer. And so I'll do a brief interview with you, and then I'll send you down to, I think, post case, or we set up an account there for a live scan. And that's once every 3 years, so not a huge burden. Up front, though, as a club, we've been asked to have everybody participate in the online YPA part, even if you don't think you're going to have one-on-one exposure or repeat exposure with youth, just so we're all coming from the same baseline. So watch for that in the coming weeks. You'll get a direct invite to at least take the quiz, and now I'll watch the community charts and let you know if additional vetting would be appropriate for you. So we'll do that individually, but everybody will participate in that at some level, and we'll get it done. Our goal is to get that done within the month of August for our whole club. So thank you.
going through this process myself, it was really educational for me to take the quiz because they provide a nice little flow chart about the emotions of a high schooler in a foreign country. And it was, I guess, very helpful to know when to be the most attentive to, I don't have kids, to a kid. The holidays are especially hard. They're like, I didn't realize. So it's wonderful for us to know as a group when to be the most caring for somebody that's traveling from Uganda. I'll let Joyce get settled, and then we talked about teddy bears briefly, but I want to hear more about them. Just like go.
Oh, go.
I was being supportive.
Oh. I got it down my purse, but I got here. So, in court, kids appear in court on well, sometimes a really good day because they're adoptions, and some days on crummy days when they're there because something's happened in their life. We like to have teddy bears for them so that they have something to hang on to, something to take home. And if you're like me, there's lots from my kids' childhood. Well, I've spent all those. And so have the judges who are regularly there. So what we've never done before, but we're doing now is reaching out and asking folks to just gently use stuffed animals, clean. If you bring them here, we can get them there and get them to children in need. So it's kind of low key, no big deal, but it's a good way of getting rid of teddy bears and other stuffed animals that you think these have great memories. And my thought is take pictures of them to remember those memories and get them to other children who will make memories with them as well. So that's what we do with them. And they really appreciate it. So thank you.
I can't find the picture, but I have 3 pictures of you giving my kids.
Yeah.
So upcoming fellowship possibility, Arcata Noon Club does a monthly evening meeting. This one will be Wednesday, the 27th. They're going to take a tour of Miranda's Rescue and have dinner, and Molly was going to be here, but she has the details. So I guess that'll be the next meeting or soon. So keep an eye out for that. And then nobody is here that was at this event. Oh, you were there. Oh, yes, ma'am. Would you like to talk about it?
Sure. Sure. We actually had a really good showing for Arcata Sunrise at this event. Romi and Jessica and Charlie and another newer member, I can't remember her name right now. Robin, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and so the outgoing president of Eureka Old Town, Clark Swan.
Eureka, not Old Town.
Sorry, Eureka. I don't know.
Almost got it.
I don't know. I got her name in the right order. I think nobody corrected me on that. Held a meeting for just women in Rotary, and every woman here should have gotten an email. If you didn't, let me know, and I'll make sure Swan adds you, or Clark has you to the email. But just really looking for, and I think every woman should have also gotten the follow-up email. Just looking for ways, especially with some of the political stuff that's going on, to just strengthen that camaraderie between women and look for ways for us to help. I mean, there's great room for both genders in Rotary, but women often get things done, and women are often the drivers. We're put in charge of, home items so many times.
You're not thinking about quitting and starting your own? Yeah.
No,
Okay.
and I'm not going to be president either of this club anytime soon until I get my kids stable.
right?
But yeah, no, it was a really nice event, and we're doing some follow-up. We want to make sure we've got like a community calendar, right? So we're not marking different events over each other. We're every club is trying to bring in a new woman member. We did that day 1, so we already got credit for bringing in a new women member, and then also looking to outreach to different organizations in the community, similar to kind of some of the stuff that our DEI committee is doing. So I think it's just a good thing. The more people are collaborating and working together for the betterment of the community, it's a good thing. Any questions?
And the next, I believe the next meetup is going to be in October at the Griffin. So just keep an eye out for that email.
Yeah, they're gonna try before over the year. Run them through the.
Right, like, and then Fortuna for one, and then McKinleyville, I believe is that, yeah. Okay.
There was a lot of like former district governors or assistant district governors and former presidents there. It was a little intimidating. It was like a kind of help share some communities.
Kind of a big deal. What are you talking about? So I wanted to thank the people that were, did the most last week for the committee fair. And Romi's not here. I know Jessica is not here. And Rebecca. I said there would be prizes. Here's a thank you code. And then Joyce, you're ready?
So the challenge with recognitions is there's never enough time to get to them all or to recognize a person for something that you found out and they're not there. It is maddening and insanity. So the one thing that I felt while we were doing stuff, but the fellowship is really important. The fact that we learn more about each other and share what's going on. So I have a new plan, as opposed to shaming people for their whatever Googling their name they end up being. And that is that this box is gonna be here, and it's gonna be a thank you box, but thank you is broadly categorized. Thank you that I woke up this morning. Thank you for something big, something little. It can be a brag as well, but I just thought a brag box sounded so like you had to have something to tell. And this is just something you want to share, something you want to thank, something you want to put out the energy. And I even brought some tablets that I hope will get used up, and I'll get more, to put in what you want to be thankful for. It's going to be over there. Maybe it'll move around. You have to look for it. That'll be a challenge. But
Don't make it hard.
I'm actually going to get enough tables. But I'm going to put some papers on the tables, and if you go, we don't do any today. And the idea will be is that we'll grab out, grab a few, and if there's a whole bunch in there, we may publish them. We give them to Dick to publish them, so we get that information out there. Because oftentimes there's not enough time to do it all, and you feel rushed, and that's so. This is an idea, and if it doesn't work, we're going to go with Plan B, which I don't have yet. But one of the things that I do know is that if you always have another plan, it's something to the work. But this, I really thought that the thank yous that we were doing when we were doing videos, when you tap the next person, really resonated with a lot of people in a time that was needed. But this is just a broad thank you. So I want to thank you for sticking with me with these recognitions, and I hope this box gets filled up lots. So I'm going to put some paper on the table. You can start today, and it will be here on your way out, conveniently located.
So how many of you are familiar with the district matching grant?
Yeah.
So maybe my spiel isn't important. I was gonna explain how it happens, but I'm gonna hand it over to Howard, and he's gonna talk about what we're gonna do with our district matching grant this year. Howard, you're up.
Okay. Arcata Sunrise Rotarians, we are applying for a district matching grant this year for a project in Cambodia. It's a project to upgrade their kitchen facilities at the Cambodia Academy. This is a Rotarian funded school for children from impoverished families who couldn't ordinarily afford to go to school. And it covers grades 1 through 9. before I do that, I just want to make sure we acknowledge members of the World Community Service Committee who are working on this matching grant. The chairperson this year is Stephanie Lane. She's going to be co-chairing with rotating assistance by different members of the committee. And our committee this year consists of her and Maggie Kraft, Randy Mendoza, Charlie Murphy, Matt Babbage, Ashley Deal, Amy Scolari, Charlie Jordan has been chair of the committee for some years, and she is stepping back from the committee this year. Tom has also been a co-chair of the committee, stepping back from being a co-chair and just being a member of the committee now, and myself. So let's move on to the next slide, please. This school in Cambodia, as I said, services over 300 children. You see photographs here of the school on the left, and on the right you see a class of students at the school that our club funded years ago. And I'll say more about the way we've helped the club in the past. In the next slide, I'm going to show you a video of what our project will be about. It's to upgrade this temporary kitchen facility that was built when the school was first founded. So Vanessa, can you run the video for us? Next slide, please. So first, some background. Back in 1992, Hans Eide, a Rotarian with the a Rotary Club down in the Bay Area, had a Cambodian American friend who told him that there was an underutilized building in Mongolbori in Cambodia that could be used as a school for impoverished family children. And one thing led to another, and Hans started this school with personal donations and also donations from other Rotarians. And over the years, he continued to develop the school. He died recently, but left an endowment to help the school and also a very healthy board that's continued running the school. It has classrooms for over 300 students. In 2002, they were notified that they couldn't use the building anymore. And I thought Hans was going to decide that it had been a good project and it was time to move on. But no, he decided to build a new building, and he managed to raise funds from Rotarians to do that. And that's the existing building that we see now. They discovered that many students were arriving hungry at the school and were having a hard time learning. So they decided to build a kitchen and dining room. And they built a temporary structure that served since then as a dining room and kitchen facility. Our club funded the entire school operational funds in 2011, 2012 with a $75,000 global matching grant. And over the years, we've funded classrooms and individual students for many years. I visited the school back in 2008 and 2012, and I was very well received by student staff who were extremely appreciative for donations that were coming from Rotarians. We have personal connections with Rotarians on the board. John Barrett and Rich Howell of San Mateo Rotary Club are board members. John was one of the original founders along with Hans. And I'm still in contact with those two members of the board. The next slide. Our club with this matching grant is going to help with the upgrade of that kitchen and dining room facility. Now, matching grants will not support construction costs. So I've arranged it with the board that we will pay with that matching grant furniture and equipment for the kitchen, which you could see from the video is in need of replacement. Our club needs to provide $2,200 as part of that $4,400 matching grant. And the entire project of the upgrade of the facility will cost an additional $135,000 in construction costs. The board has raised all but about $40,000 needed for that, and they expect to complete by August the complete amount needed of $135,000. A tornado damaged that facility a few years ago, and it was only built to be a temporary structure anyway. So it's that facility that needs to be upgraded. This is a collaboration between us and the Cambodia Academy Board, and our club can be very happy, I trust, in this project. Thanks, Vanessa. That's it.
Thank you, Howard. So this year at PETS, Jennifer Strong is our district governor, and she really wanted to emphasize the difference between when you join Rotary and when you become a Rotarian. And she's coming up here the first week in August, and she's going to have a little conversation with us, or one of you, about that distinction. And she wants you to share, whoever it is, when you became a Rotarian. And for me, it was actually before I joined this club. I was bartending the spring fundraiser, and it was my second year doing it. And I was more in charge of the bar than I was the first time. I just showed up and poured drinks. And we didn't have any ice. And so I was like that's really important to me too. Sort of panicking. And Scott Heller, who was my mentor, we don't have any ice, we need ice chests. And he didn't, no hesitation, how many? And I was like, I want to be that kind of person, that it's not, oh my, too bad, or what's it going to cost, or what's it going to take, how many? We will figure it out. And I was like, okay. So that's why I joined this club, because I wanted to be part of a team of people, no hesitation, yes, and so think about that moment yourselves, and I'm going to have Joyce share hers if she's ready.
Good thing I showed up. My first thought of Rotary was when I was in 8th grade, and I got to go to the all men's Fortuna Rotary Club luncheon meeting in a room at a restaurant that doesn't exist anymore, a basement room where it was sort of dark. And my presentation was simply a pictorial pictures put to music, which we didn't have videos then. So literally it was I had 2 friends that were scrolling the paper as the pictures moved to Creedence Clearwater Full Stop the Rain. And so I had no idea what they did, except for their names were on plaques around the city in nice places. And then got busy growing up and my career and my family. And one day I found myself running for judge that I lost. And the judge that was retiring said, oh, you should join Rotary. And so I didn't really know what Rotary did, but I thought, okay, it's a group that does good things. So my mistake was when I met this guy, that's the first thing I said. And his idea was, she is not a Rotarian. You don't join Rotary for your own self, you join Rotary for others. And in the process of becoming a member, Bob told me that. Bob thinks you don't know what you're doing, he's gonna tell you. And he did, maybe not so much now, and he did. And I thought to myself, maybe I'm not a Rotarian. Maybe I shouldn't join the club. And I thought, no, I want to be a Rotarian for what they do, what I know they do. So that's why I joined. But when I started coming to meetings, I was struck by how much can be done by one person who wants to change something. So the first one, of course, is this polio, where it's like one guy on an island somewhere said, this is bad. We can fix this. And that one person sent out these ripples to end polio. Not quite done, but we haven't given up. And the same, but then there's people in this club who, my job is a lonely kind of job. I sit in my office by myself. I'm around people, but I tell them what to do, and they've got to do what I say most of the time. But it doesn't feel real because everybody tells you good things all the time because that's the nature of being a judge. But this club grounds me. And so I first became a Rotarian when I learned about polio and the possibility of a person changing, and then seeing people here do it all the time. Serving with our talents, just one good idea, even a halfway good idea can take wings and change people's lives. And that's what I come back for. That's why I'm here, is that on any given day, somebody with a good idea can share it and we can change the world. So that's why I'm a Rotarian. That's when I became a Rotarian.
All right. Anyone else want to share? Charlie. Front and center.
Wow. So I joined Rotary because I wanted to help the youth in our community, and I wanted to kind of segue energy, funds, whatever, work towards the youth that we work with in our community. And I had no idea. I just came to this group of people with older faces. I don't belong here. Like, I slid under the radar somehow. Luckily, I think AJ and Dustin were part of like the membership committee, and they were just like, "Yeah, come on, like, join on in." And I think that, I don't know, there's several points where I became a Rotarian, where my projects were really supported, whether it was helping funding the parent project classes or getting to spend quality time with everybody in Guatemala, and having this like, okay, we're like Charlie Jordan being so passionate about, we're going to build a house for an Indigenous woman in Guatemala. And the way that we all were like, okay, we're gonna make a fundraiser, we're gonna go out there, and like just seeing so much community support and so much love and so much passion, and like really becoming friends with so many people in this club, and having quality relationships, going out to lunch or like maybe breakfast, or I think that a lot of the relationships I've grown here, oh yeah, I'm a Rotarian because this is like a family. That's to me what Rotary is you become a part of the family, and that's what Rotary.
That's all I have for you today. So you're welcome to stay and hang out. Oh, Rebecca.
I have a diversity, equity, and inclusion moment. All right. So I just want, so our committee met last night, and so don't be surprised when we reach out to your committee to see, how you can be more diverse in your community. But I just wanted to recognize that yesterday was International Non-Binary Peoples Day. So, for your non-binary friends or something, I don't know if you say like Happy International Non-Binary Peoples Day, but it's just another time to just recognize those folks who don't fit into those slots that everybody had. I even was thinking, as I was like, here we have this women in GHD group, and it's like, well, if you feel like a woman and you want to join the women in GHD group and you want on that list, make sure to contact me. Gender is a fluid rainbow, so just happy, again, I don't want to get the words wrong, International Non-Binary Peoples Day, and that's your DEI moment for today. Think about those folks.
What's GHD?
DEI, I said international. Oh, me?
No, you said GHD.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
I meant women in Rotary, sorry. My company, GHD, has a ton of diversity, equity, inclusion groups. We've got a radii group, we've got a women in GHD group, we've got our BEATS group, which is our Black Employee Action Committee. We've got a non-diversity group. So sorry, I live in multiple worlds. Yeah. It was the women in GHD. You can't join my company group unless you work.
We know what you mean.
But yeah, just we just want to make sure that everybody feels included. So again, if there's anybody who hears this and was like, oh well, I kind of identify with you know, women in Rotary, and that's, you know, who you are, please feel free to call and join us, because we want, you know, we want to be inclusive.
Do you want this to be a thing?
Yes, we're gonna have a minute, but I have to work with my group to make sure we've got like appropriate slides and messaging, but this was just an easy one because it was yesterday. And so I was like, hey, let's just mention this. So, yeah, we're working on it, among many other initiatives.
Yeah.
Are there?
There are. There's two in the box and one on the table. I see. I don't know if there's more. Anybody else have? Thank you. This way we'll get
Thank
the
goodness you're
line.
here. I'm grateful that Joyce is here.
So I'm gonna skip. She already said it. They were grateful for me, which is a nice way for me to start my day. I am further grateful for being a part of a club. I like the mix of people and all the projects, old and new, that we do. I'm also grateful that Marty finally joined Arcata Sunrise.
Joyce, did that say the mix of people or the mixed up?
It's mixed up, but I'm grateful that Rotary International finally has a woman president. Aside from the about time factor, Jennifer Jones is an amazing woman. Please Google her and watch her speeches. Listen to her explain her theme, its logo, and the college meeting. She's a goddess to me. Thank you. So thank you for a new creative way to provide recognitions. So yay! All right, so now you have to back. You can bring your thank yous when you come and just put it in the box, or you can write them on the table when you get it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.